Oakville Elementary. I'm Josh,
Segundo.
and today we're going to be reading Diary of Wimpy Long Haul.
All right.
On Monday, we pulled out to the hotel last night. I was relieved that it looked a lot nicer than the place we stayed the night before. Mom and Dad weren't taking any chances on getting turned away at the desk because of the pig, so we kept it in the cooler until we got into our room.
Question 1, page 105. Can you remember a time when you will just lived as larger in this moment?
I think Mom felt bad about the sleep situation at the motel the first night because this time she rented 2 rooms so everyone would have a bed. But I should have known there was a catch. Mom said since she and Dad and Mandy in their room, the pig was going to have to stay in ours. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with the pig, so I tried putting it in our bathtub, but it started whimpering the second I set it down. I decided to let the pig loose in the bathroom. When I peeked inside a few minutes later, it had made a terrible mess in there, and I was pretty sure it ate a bar of soap too. I let the pig free in the bedroom so I could keep an eye on it. The first thing it did was go straight to the door connecting the 2 rooms. Eventually, Dad got sick of all the noise and opened the door to let the pig in. I was so tired, I fell asleep before my head hit the pillow. This morning, I woke up to the sound of weird noises coming from the foot of my bed. At first, I thought Roger had gotten up early, and then I realized the sound was coming from the pig. It had somehow figured out how to open the minibar door and was rooting to the candy and other snacks inside. I picked the pig up, put it in our bathtub, then went next door to tell Mom and Dad what happened. But it turned out the pig had raided their minibar too. Somehow it even got into the drinks. I counted at least 3 empty cans on the floor, and don't even ask me how a pig managed to do that. Dad went down to the front desk to tell him our pet had gone into the minibar, and we shouldn't be charged for all the stuff it ate. But the clerk told Dad we were going to have to pay for all this stuff in the minibar, and on top of that, there was a $50 penalty for violating the hotel's no pet policy. After the final tally, the pig ended up costing us more than the rooms did. Mom was eager to get on the road, so she woke Roger up and told him to get in the shower. I probably should have mentioned to him that the pig was in the bathtub before he stepped in. When we got in the car, Dad was on the phone with his office. Apparently there was some sort of emergency, and he was the only one who knew how to take care of it. Mom had planned a big day for us with lots of stops, so she wasn't happy that Dad had to deal with the work situation. But we hit the road anyway, and Dad talked on the phone while we drove.
Can you remember a time where you were disappointed and how did it make you feel?
Our first stop was a place that claimed to have the largest piece of popcorn in the world, which ended up not being that impressive. First of all, it wasn't a real piece of popcorn, it was a wood carving, and second, it wasn't even all that big. When we got out of the car, Dad stayed back on his call. The pig stayed too, sleeping off the drinks from the minibar. Next up, we went to a place that's supposedly world famous because it has life-size carvings of all the U.S. presidents in butter.
How did you feel when you all expected something to be great, but it wasn't?
At this time, Mom made Dad get out of the van and join us, but he stayed on the phone the whole time. When we got back in the car, Mom let Dad know it wasn't okay for him to be missing out on family time. Dad told her he just needed to deal with one more work issue, and after it was taken care of, he'd give us his full attention. Dad said he was about to get a call from one of the international clients, and that when he did, it was really important for everyone to stay quiet so it would seem like Dad was in the office. It didn't look like that was going to be a big problem. Manny was already down for his afternoon nap, and the pig was still passed out in the cooler. A few minutes later, Dad call came in. You could tell by how loud the guy was talking he was upset. But Dad spoke in a real even tone voice, and his client seemed to calm down. The rest of us stayed as quiet as we could, but then Roger got out one of his packs of bubble gum and put all 5 pieces in his mouth and started chewing it real loud. Mom snapped her fingers to try and get him to stop making so much noise. But her fingers snapping was actually louder than the chewing gum, which you could tell that was irritating Dad. Mom wanted Roger to get rid of his gum, so she pressed the button to open the sunroof. But when she did, the sound of air blowing inside the van was like a jet turbine. Mom realized she had made a mistake, so she pressed the button to close the sunroof. But before it could shut all the way, Roger chucked his gum through the opening. The gum boomerang right back and got stuck in the gear of the gear track of the sunroof. Mom frantically pressed the close button, but the sunroof was jammed open. At that moment, the air rushing in from the outside dislodged Flash Stanley from the vent, and he went flying. Dad was Dad was having a really hard time concentrating on his phone and was fumbling with the buttons to try and shut the sunroof himself.
Can you remember the last time things went crazy and how did you deal with it?
But now he didn't have a hand on the wheel and was steering with his knees. Dad was starting drifting out of his lane, and the driver of a huge tractor trailer let us know it, which made Dad drop his phone.
I hope you enjoyed our short reading of Diary of a Kid the Long Haul. Again, I'm Josh.
I'm Segundo.
I'm CJ.
And our cameraman.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Thanks. Have a good day.